All right, hello. We are playing Control by Pip. How are you doing today?
I am great. How are you?
Yeah, doing all right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll go ahead and get the game started. And if you can tell us a little bit about your game development background and your role on this project.
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Pip, or Pip Makes Games. I'm a freelance games developer for 2 years now. I graduated from Glasgow Caledonian University, and this year I got together with a group of three people: Blair the Bean, Ross the designer. He doesn't actually have a name other than Ross, so and we got together and we made this game. It is a small puzzle game based on a game that we all played during our teenagehood, Block Swords. Um, so yes, and I am trying to figure out if you're playing 1.5 or 1.6 currently, because 1.6 is post jam update, 1.5 is the jam version.
I did download the post-gen version,
Okay.
so it
There are
should be good.
some differences between those two. For example, the buttons work much better in the post-gen version. I fixed them.
Okay.
So in this project, I worked both as project lead and lead programmer, while Ross handled level design and Blair handled the art.
Nice. All right. So it's yeah, we saw a couple of these sort of dice puzzle type games during the jam, but you mentioned that this is specifically like inspired by a game that you used to play like in your youth.
Yes, during teenagehood, roughly, the Flash era. So there was a game called Block Swords where you would control a
Okay.
brick in a very similar environment, and we all knew it, and we were all basically Ross suggested it, and we were all immediately like, "Yes, that is a good idea." And we started spitballing different mechanics, such as, oh, we should have it so that we have different buttons that activate stuff. Let's have some buttons ask for a specific number, while other buttons ask for odd or even. And then we're like, okay, what about a teleporter? And then we added the mechanic that's in this level, which is one of the one of the mechanics that were unique compared to other ones in the jam. So I'm excited to see how you handle this level.
I see. I just rolled the die over and I see it's erased one of the faces off of my die
Yes, exactly.
that I know I need that for because I. Okay, so I need to erase some other face off my die. There we go. And then I've got to end up with an odd face up, and then. Okay, I think I really kind of fluked my way through that one, although I guess we'll
That
see.
one's the introductory one, so it's quite easy to go through that one.
Okay. Oh, no.
So the level progressions have a bit of a mixture to them. So this one, for example, doesn't use the teleportation or the razor mechanic, and
Mhm.
instead focuses back on the buttons themselves, but introduces them at a more complex level than before, having you manipulate the areas where your dice is facing up. Um, and yeah, the generally, I was really happy with the levels that Ross designed. I technically designed one of the levels, but
Mhm.
I'm not gonna take full credit for that one. I'm also designed the core mechanic of that level and suggested the idea of the level, but Ross put it together. So
Oh my goodness. Despite okay, finally. So yes, despite how many of these games that I played this jam, I still have not internalized the algorithm for like rotating a die to get a certain face up. So it is a whole lot of just like guess and check.
it is, yeah. And if I was to redo some of the levels, I would probably make it so that it's a bit less of a guesswork on how to get to places. A mechanic which I originally wanted to do, but I ran out of time, was if you clicked on the dice and then you clicked on either the X or Y axis, it would show up a small ghost indicator to show what it would be at that point if you rolled directly for it. And I think that would
Oh,
help.
interesting. Yeah, because I realize that this level is very much structured to get you to erase the 3 face on your die, which is what you need to
Yes.
progress.
Yes, it teaches you that the direct route is not always the best route.
So there is a different type of button, right, which requires you to have the 3 face down versus another one that requires you to have the 3 face up.
Not in our game. Our
Oh,
game
okay.
has the buttons only facing them up. Originally, how
Okay.
the buttons. The issue was the way that I imagined the buttons, the way that our artist imagined the buttons, and the way that our designer imagined the buttons visually were completely three different ideas.
Uh-huh.
My idea was that there was going to be like a scanner or some sort of camera which takes a snap of the top of the dice and then activates it, and that's how the button would work. Um, while our artists saw it as a button similar to those in Portal, the
Mm-hmm,
round
mm-hmm.
ones, not the square ones from Portal 2. And then our designer just saw them as buttons. So, you know, we each had a different idea of what it was in mind, and it kind of came out a little bit janky, but in a charming way, I hope.
Yeah, I think a like maybe one way that could have been visually conveyed is if you had a 3D hologram of the cube in the position of the button with the 3 face visible on top. So if I
Yeah,
were to
that's what I.
just
If
oh
you remember level 2, we
mhm.
actually did that.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking of. But yeah, that would be the idea. Like I don't like was it only for that one level that like
it was only for that one level because it introduced the mechanic.
right.
And then the next one didn't. It didn't. I feel like it could have been a little bit done a little bit better if I did it for a couple of levels, but at that point, it was literally uploading within the
Oh
hour
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it crashed. So I
Oh
was like,
no.
maybe I shouldn't risk trying to upload stuff now, and I should just let other people upload their games because my version of the game is already playable enough.
Yeah. I think it would have helped and I don't think it's
Yeah,
an issue that it's not there. It's just like I don't see any reason sort of not to leave it there if that makes sense.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. So have you internalized the almighty dice rotation algorithm that lets you like put an arbitrary face up if you need to?
Just about, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I find myself consistently like one short or one like I almost like always
Yes,
off by one.
this Ross specifically designed it so that you would be short by one in most rotations by this. You, in fact, cannot get the three to like in any of those three positions. If you have three facing up, you can't get to the button.
Oh.
I'll give you that hint for fun.
So do I need to actually restart the level or am I is there
No, no, no.
something
You
else?
can still do it.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Man. I think this is the level that we're going to be looking at for the rest of the stream then. Okay. Um, anyway, we can move on to the next question then. So, what was your actual development process for the game?
So we had split down the by the way, if you press exit, there's a level select. So if you ever
Oh,
get
okay.
stuck in a level, you can go out and select whatever level you is next.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you.
right. Sorry, development process.
Yeah.
So the development process was like this. Basically, I had my own independent scene, which was specifically just to test out the mechanics. Then I would package them up in prefabs and put them in a specific folder. I had laid out some specific empty scenes with UI and some stuff which I could prepackage in prefabs and have them work properly.
Hmm.
And named those levels for Ross. And we worked with GitHub. So I would push a change, and then Ross would go into those, um, and he would make the levels. I believe that I believe it's level 9 that you were.
Yeah, no,
That
I skipped ahead because I just can't.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was indeed like, nope. I just I could not figure it out, and I don't think it's any good to watch me just struggle like endlessly spinning the die
Yeah.
in circles. So
Yeah, this is exactly why the level select was added in, just because I knew some people would not like to sit there and fiddle with the mechanic until it worked, rather than like try and figure it out. By the way, you can move UI elements by clicking and dragging on them.
oh, okay, that definitely does help. Man, somehow I can okay there I finally got one by accident. I was playing this level and I was like, wow, it is
Yes.
incredible how this has been designed so that I like can't solve it by mistake. I have to be more intentional than this, but
Yes. So a major sort of aspect to this was, and like Ross consistently impresses me with just the design decisions that he makes. It's There's always an intention behind those, and it's always just you're a tricky little. Mm, every time. I have fallen for so many of his tricks when he designs puzzles.
yeah, I think it definitely would help to have some sort of idea of like what's on the opposite faces of your die. Because right now I know
Yeah,
that okay, so if I roll this way, oh wait, really? This is a normal die, right?
yes, this is a normal die.
I guess I'm just yeah, one no, it's got a different chirality than the one that I'm holding.
We used the one that I had on my desk, and Ross had the same one. So I don't know what chirality your dice has compared
um
to mine.
Yeah, so if I hold this up to the webcam, you can see that it's got the one face on top and then the five and the three. But keep in mind that what you're seeing is a mirror image of reality. So while the die, as I'm
Yeah,
holding it up to the webcam, matches what you see on the stream, in real life, it's mirrored. So that's why it actually does have that different chirality, which is again something I didn't know that a die could have different chirality. I thought a die was just a die.
yeah. I also did thought that. By the way, right clicking also rotates the camera in case you
Oh,
want
okay,
to
that is
look at
definitely
your other
helpful.
side.
Oh
Yes,
wait,
the
it just
both
kind of
of
like makes it right click and or like makes it spin, and then when you let go, it goes back.
yes, exactly. Mostly because the rotation for your controls don't change along with the camera, so this is more so to peek behind different angles.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Um, rather than having it so you end up like moving in a different direction than you are oriented, because that can
Yeah,
also get confusing very quickly. Yeah, I think that once again, I'm looking at a level that is just beyond my ability to. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
The game does have a difficulty curve. It doesn't just like have it goes up. 11
Oh,
levels in total.
Oh, okay. So this one way over here gets you to the end, and then this one sends you over here. This one sends you on a loop back to here, and then you have to sort of solve everything except for that. Got it.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Cheers, Dr. Tronic. Um, okay, I think I might have to once again just sort of skip past this level just to showcase a little bit more of the game here.
Yeah. You're
Um,
going to level 10, if I
yeah.
recall.
Well, not honestly, but
Yeah,
oh
well,
boy.
you understand the level. I mean, the level itself, the WebGL version has names for each of the levels instead of just level counter.exe.
Yeah.
And that one's just called Teleporter Hell. So
In teleporter hell indeed. And yes, Dr. Tronic, I am drinking a fancy smoothie my partner made for me just before the stream started. So, um, my goodness. Okay. The problem with so many of these games, as far as I'm concerned, is that if you haven't mentally internalized that algorithm that allows you to rotate a die to get an arbitrary face up, then they're all incredibly hard. Like you
yeah,
can't like stumble your way to a solution. And
yeah.
I haven't seen a single game this jam that actually teaches you that algorithm through its level design.
I mean, I kind of learned. So I think it really depends on the person because
Mm-hmm.
prior to this jam, I didn't know, and
Yeah.
I used this game and just generally this level design to learn said algorithm. So I think it really depends on not like I really don't want to come off as like trying to be superior or anything like that, of course. Um, but it I don't know. I don't think it's I don't think by any means this is a great game to teach you the mechanics, but I don't think it's a terrible way to teach the mechanics either.
I know what you mean, and like there's I think from one person to another, like it absolutely could just click in your brain.
Yeah.
For me, like, for like I said, I've played maybe like five of these at this point, and it's never clicked. Couldn't tell you why. I just maybe it's because I'm focused. Like if I spent the time to really like try to figure out that algorithm, I'm sure any one of these games I could learn it in some way. But
Yeah.
it just never happens. It just never clicks. Oh
Yeah.
boy. So
Oh,
we've been yeah.
so for anyone who's playing, who's watching the stream, if you go to the site, you can actually play it on WebGL as well if you want to go through the puzzles.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure to reshare that link
Yeah.
with chat so people can try it out. Um,
The this one is
mhm,
the level that I basically said I want this mechanic in the game. Can we add it? And this was like in the 11th hour of the first day.
mhm.
And Ross is like, okay, but I don't know how much time we'll have. And thankfully, it got implemented in one level, specifically the last level, which is the reason why in the WebGL version this level is called the last one.
I know that if I keep rotating, eventually I'll get that three face. There we go. Okay, you know what? I can appreciate a victory lap level because gives you that feeling of like, yeah, I did it. It's not doesn't just get harder from here.
Yeah, and that's the game. So
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed.
I only had to skip like two of them. And as I said, like I don't think it was your imperative. I don't think it was the imperative of every single one of these games out there to teach the player that dice rotation algorithm. You know, it's the whole point of the exercise is to like try to figure out what that algorithm is and to think intelligently about
Yeah,
what your moves are going to be.
I think in terms of level design, our goal was more so to teach this game's specific mechanics rather than learn like master the rotational
Yep.
algorithm. Sorry, my mind got stuck halfway through that sentence.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like the teleporter pads, the Oh my goodness, what else? Because you've got the
The
buttons,
eraser style, the eraser and the stamp.
the eraser. Yes, those are the three like mechanics that are in this game that are not in any of the other ones that I've seen. Also, I love that as we've discussed in other games, you can like immediately from the title screen start rotating the little die.
Yes, that one's to get people adjusted to the controls, but it also serves the function that the die actually makes a sound, which means you can adjust your volume settings from
Yeah,
there.
it's very true.
Although, little sneaky side note of a bug, if you go into a level and then you go back into the menu, the volume sliders do nothing because, uh, whoops,
Oh
mostly.
yeah.
You can actually move around and rearrange the main menu as well if
Oh,
you
that's
grab the
fun.
top bar, as if it was an old Windows like thing.
Yeah. So it would be interesting to pick the brain of the person who designed the puzzles. Is there a chance to get them on?
Uh,
Ross, right?
yes, I will see if they're currently available. They don't typically respond.
That's okay. We've also got another
Uh,
interview in like just 7 minutes, so maybe another time. But I agree,
yes,
it would be fun if there was an opportunity to chat with some of the other developers, the other team members.
I what I could do is I could give my email out here, and anyone who is really interested in getting into contact with Ross, I can pass on contact information.
Okay. I mean, also, I think everyone who is watching right now is also a member on the Discord, so you don't have to like put your email out in public. People can just
Okay, yeah.
get in touch with you
Ping
via the Discord.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
ping me in Discord. Direct message me. I'm open for DMs. I am Pip on Discord.
Yes.
I think that's pretty easy to find.
Yes. Pip currently with the vaporwave icon. I've just zoomed way the heck in on the screen there, so people can see.
Yes, I actually drew that myself during the jam. Uh, because our artist had a little bit of an issue during development, and they had to basically leave halfway through the jam.
Oh.
And I picked up a little bit of the slack afterwards. That's obviously by no means any shade towards them. They did a wonderful, fantastic job. I did just a little bit of things here and there. For example, the background that you're seeing just now,
Yeah.
the skybox I made myself.
Can I move menus? Yes, I can. Okay, I can move menus entirely off the screen, huh?
Yes, you can. Uh,
Incidental soft lock.
I mean, if you press escape, I believe that it resets the menu.
Ah, it does. It does.
Yes.
But yeah, all the better that we can like appreciate the arts 100%.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have any plans with this game going forward?
Um. So yes and no. I'm currently going to be entering into a very busy period. Where I am doing a couple of more job applications here and there, and I have two contracts down the line for my freelance side of stuff. Um. So I'm a bit skint on time. But if I had time, what I
Mhm.
would do is probably add a couple of levels with the stamp mechanic a little bit more, and add a kind of level which involves all of the mechanics up to this point as a final sort of brain teaser that's actually secretly easy, but it makes the player feel clever about being able to solve something with all of the mechanics.
Yeah, I know what
And
you mean.
then if I had a lot of time in my hands, I would add a level editor and a way to share levels.
Hmm.
Um, that was intended as a thing, but it was more so like a if we somehow have a whole week in those
Yeah.
24 hours left in the jam. It's obviously time does not work that way unless you have a time machine.
Unless you
And the
got some
friend that I
tachyons.
Yes, and the friend that I has a time machine wasn't willing to lend it to me.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, maybe for the
Yeah,
next project.
yeah. So yeah, that's. it.
Yeah, well, if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask about the game in chat, now would be the time to do it. Oh, I almost forgot. Do you have a useful shortcut or a clever hack in Unity that you can recommend to others?
Right. I have two actually because because I've done this sort of interview with you before.
Yes.
I had this question in mind, um, all day today. So I have two. One's less of a Unity thing and more of a project management thing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And the project management thing is compartmentalize. If you can break down a complex task into simpler components and make time management in order to tackle them, then you can more efficiently go through your time and also make sure that you have breaks for yourselves, which allows you to basically have a smoother workflow. Um, treat your workflow like sand rather than a big brick, is my suggestion.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Absolutely makes
Uh,
sense.
and then the second thing with Unity
Hmm.
is LARPing is probably the best thing in the universe, in my opinion, for animating things without using the animator. Um, if you want to rotate things, however,
Hmm.
I would not suggest using quaternions because they are a nightmare. What you
Yes.
should probably do instead is use some sort of reference object and rotate that instead with the rotate function, and then just have that copy over the quaternion onto whatever you want.
Ah, okay, interesting.
That's how you actually roll the dice here. The dice has an invisible body called the reference block,
Hmm.
and it just whenever it wants to rotate, it sets the rotation, and then it lerps to the quaternion to the target quaternion, rather than having it pick the quaternion in the future and then lerp to it.
Nice. Oh, that's a fantastic tip. All right. Well,
Because I had nightmares the first 24 hours about how to rotate it.
yeah. No, I get you. All right. Well, Pip, thank you so much for joining me on the call today. Where can people find you on social media? Do you have any other projects you'd like to plug?
Kind of. Uh, itch.io, I have a pipmakesgames.itch.io page on there, and I'm gonna put it in chat.
Please do.
I have a Patreon for whoever. I doubt people are going to want to sponsor me, but that's a thing. I have a Patreon. My Patreon gives access to the more professional version of PipLib, which is my coding library. I make Unity assets for free mostly. Only two things are for a price, and they are a price of $1, minimum price basically. And they are only there because I spent a lot more time working on them, and I wanted a tiny bit of compensation for my work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all of my Unity assets are free because I feel like anyone who wants to make a game should be able to make a game.
No, that's awesome. I think that everyone should take a look at that. I've already reposted the link to your Patreon in the chat. And yeah, just thanks
Awesome.
again so much for joining me.
Oh, can I plug one last
Go for
project
it. Go for
in?
it.
So for anyone who wants a free audio manager and sound effect library manager, I have made one, and it's extremely easy to trigger in code. All you need to do is essentially have the uh, sound effect library object attached to your game manager and have all the sounds loaded into it. And then you can just reference it in code by name by saying play and then passing in the name of the sound effect or the number of the sound effect. And it will automatically play it for you and destroy it once it's done.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'd love to if you can drop that in. That's awesome.
You can also play sound effects with variants automatically. So it will adjust the pitch and play it at a different micro pitch, and you can adjust the scale or amplitude of the pitch as well.
Nice. That is super helpful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, thanks again for joining me on the call today.
Thank you very much for interviewing me. Have a great day.
You too.